So Charlie Kirk has a theory about the documents that were taken from Mar-a-Lago, the classified documents that Donald Trump was hoarding. And there was a picture that was released, I believe, by the New York Times of how these documents were being stored. There were some fun details in that, including Trump having a Time magazine cover that was framed in one of the boxes that he took from the White House. But Charlie Kirk, I would say he's lost it, but I just don't necessarily know if he ever had it. This is his theory about why the Time magazine cover was photographed alongside the classified documents.
Of the Department of Justice that just released a filing of a picture of documents from Mar-a-Lago seemingly just kind of spread all across the floor. And if you look a level deeper into this photo, let's put the photo up on screen. It is very clear that our prediction on Monday is becoming true. This is the Department of Justice sending a clear and obvious and intentional message towards Donald Trump and his allies and towards you, that the fourth branch of government is not going to take it anymore, that the fourth branch of government, the unelected, unknown, unchecked power apparatus is going for it. They know they're unpopular. They know they do not have a constituency. They want to be the few ruling the many. They want to destroy the idea of the many ruling the few. What is it in this picture exactly? Well, the administrative state posts this picture of documents all across the floor. Nothing necessarily telling there, but there's two big things, and we have to look at it deeper today. The first of which is an intentional placement of a Time magazine cover. Now, look, they knew that this was going to go viral. They knew that this was going to be examined through every single way. Put a picture of the Time magazine cover up on screen. Picture of Donald Trump with all the Democrat candidates looking outside of the window, and it says, knock, knock. This is back from March of 2019. Get it? Knock, knock. Like we're knocking on your door on home. No mistake that was put in. Now, this is not for the purpose of the judge. This is simply and solely for a public relations move. This was designed with the sole intent to try to chill dissent. It's so smug. It's so arrogant. The FBI no longer even tries to hide their political bias. And I'm going to say this again. They're going for it. They're going for an indictment of Donald Trump. I wish that was not the case. I wish that it was kind of like the Mueller investigation. I wish it was like all these other ones. Instead, I think they're going to create a crime out of thin air because they are so afraid of what 2024 is going to hold and what the midterms will hold.
Knock, knock.
I love the reaction of top secret documents laid out all over the floor and Charlie Kirk going, nothing to see here. Look over in that box at that Time magazine cover.
No, because he's running with and I thought most Republicans had abandoned this for a little while, but it was funny to see them try to scramble to come up with a talking point after this raid happened. But he's still on the planted evidence thing. See, they're sending a message. Knock, knock. We're coming for you. Man, he even has to know that is flimsy. He desperately wishes that it was a different Time magazine cover because I'm not seeing the connection. Even if I, smoked a lot of pot, I don't know if I'd be able to make those.
But even in the picture, you can't even really see it.
I know. That's by design, Bradley.
You're right.
Because you have to look for it.
Yeah, he had to blow it up. He had to get his producer. He had to pull a me and blow up the shot.
Yeah, connect some strings on the dartboard there. Or in the bulletin board.
Yeah.
We all know that throughout history, America's law enforcement and intelligence agencies have loved to spread secret messages to stifle dissent via Time magazine covers. It's gone on. Martin Luther King Jr. was sent Time magazine covers. Coups in Latin America were started over Time magazine covers sent by the U.S. This is how we roll.
You joke, Matt, but that's because you don't know the long history of hidden object indoctrination in media. That's why Highlights magazine is the preeminent tool of, the deep state when it comes to indoctrinating the populace.
Shit, I used all those growing up. Is that why I'm so on board with the deep state and in their investigation of Donald Trump?
I read those at the dentist's office, and now I'm so woke.
I bet you think it's just about finding Waldo, don't you? Exactly. Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. I've been searching for Waldo my whole fucking life, man.
They're not even hiding anymore. They're not even hiding their intentions. They're exposing them subliminally in the corner of an evidence photo that you have to decode.
Enhance.
Yeah.
Enhance.
The funny thing is that not they as in the deep state, but they as in Republicans and Democrats do this more now, the I spyification of our political media stuff.
Yeah.
I just remember back when Elizabeth Warren spelled out BLM in children's blocks in the back of a Democratic convention thing. And it's just that stuff is just done to appeal to the childish minds of the mainstream voter. I don't think that the FBI is doing that in this particular circumstance. I think Trump just has any Times magazine that has him on the cover, no matter whether it was negative or positive.
Absolutely.
Framed. I think that a more likely thing that they could have done was to just cover the top secret documents in ketchup fingerprints, because that would be a way to subtly imply the malfeasance of Donald Trump, that he wasn't keeping the documents in any real good sense. You sprinkle a few McDonald's double cheeseburger wrappers around, put ketchup fingerprints on everything. That's what I would do if I were an FBI.
Also, does Charlie Kirk think the FBI grabbed their own Time magazines? It's clearly a box of Donald Trump's own Time magazine.
Yeah, the only way that's possible is if some cad in the raid, which I don't believe this happened, but noticed that Trump had that magazine and thought it might be funny to put it in the evidence photo. But it existed at Trump's office. It wasn't some nefarious plan we're gonna send a message here.
Do we know it was in Trump's office, even though he has an entire history of, by the way, framing Time magazines in particular, photoshopping non-real ones and hanging them in his golf course, if you guys remember that story.
He knows every media appearance he's ever made.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of an FBI agent showing up and getting ready to take the photo and going, wait, get me Time magazine issue 2195.
Yeah, we've been waiting for this ever since this came out, to plant it at the scene of where we finally get the guy.
Yeah.
Here's what I would say. If that was a subliminal message put into the frame by an FBI psyop engineer, they should be fired, because I didn't put those things I didn't connect those things when I first saw the picture. I still don't really understand what Charlie Kirk's point after having the intention explained to me. So I have a hard time believing it would affect me in the way that he describes. But I could be wrong. I just think that it wouldn't be an effective subliminal message, even if it was one.
No, you're right,
also,
Brendan.
Are we sure that was a real Time magazine cover? Because didn't Trump once hang up a fake Photoshop one?
Yeah, that's what I just was alluding to.
Oh, that's what.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm not doing good with subtle these days.
It's all good. It's all good.
But Brandon, you're exactly right about the point about the appealing to basically child minds. And that's what Charlie Kirk is doing here. And this is what sort of all of QAnon is, which is you don't need to understand the history of and sort of policy implications of certain things. You just need to look for the hidden symbolism that can be decoded for you, and then you have the decoder ring, and you're all of a sudden empowered.
Right.
And that's
because you're the ones doing it, right? It's not you're consuming information and learning. You're active in your own uncovering of certain knowledge, so it feeds into people's individual narcissism, for lack of
exactly. Yeah. And it is just lowest common denominator type of stuff. You just search for any sort of thing you can make into imbue with deeper meaning, because the actual deeper meaning of what does it mean that a president is taking documents that relate to espionage and nuclear stuff? Well, let's not get into that. Let's just get into the secret messages that the deep state's sending you.